So, something recently crossed my mind about the concept of shame and how it robs us of some of the most amazing experiences. Have you ever thought about how much shame has stopped you from doing the things that would probably benefit you or open your mind to something that you have never experienced? I was thinking about shame recently. I thought about how many people just don't do things because someone said doesn't make sense, or how dare you do that, or how can you be caught doing that, or at this age you shouldn't be doing that, or why would you even think of something like that. All these different excuses born out of people's ideas or expectations and projected onto you, and suddenly you find yourself not doing something that you few minutes ago would have thought of doing, but someone has now given you an excuse or reasons why it doesn't make sense. That experience is lost, not of your own doing, but of someone else's thoughts. And I thought back to like when I was in uni and we were talking about philosophers of old, the Aristotles and all of them. And all these people read books, thought about concepts, and created ideologies that guided people after them. But has anyone thought of the people before them, how those people thought, and the experiences they had, and how those experiences were not guided? A lot of the things that we are guided by, or that guide our thoughts, that make us decide not to do things or to do things, are mostly social constructs. Something pops up in your mind. There's a reason that thing popped up in your mind. There's a reason you thought to do it. But suddenly, when you think about where you come from and how people like you don't do things like that, I can't be caught doing this. Now, I'm going to balance it. There are some things you should never be caught doing. There are some things that are not just right. That's the human ideology and understanding of the difference between good and evil. That's a separate thing. I'm talking about experiences. For example, let's pick one. Let's say skydiving. I picked the most extreme one, but we'll go with that. There's a lot of safety and precautions that go into doing one jump. There's a lot of details that they go over and over again before they make some of these moves. But you are sitting somewhere thinking that the day you decide to go skydiving is the day something will go wrong. What has put that fear in your mind? It's probably something you've heard somewhere, or something you've seen somewhere, or something you have assumed based on previous knowledge that you already have, but you haven't had that experience. You haven't had that opportunity to see that. Last year, I went bungee jumping for my birthday. From meeting point to the jump point, there was a lot of precaution strapping us to different places just to keep us safe. And when it was time to do the jump, I saw them strap me up, I saw them tighten stuff, I saw them check multiple times. But for the first 3 seconds after I jumped, I was going crazy. I was like, is this how I die? Forgetting that I had seen them do all these safety precautions. But when the rope snapped, and it's not snapped, but when it caught on and left me hanging, I relaxed. So even after seeing all those precautions, in my head, there was still the opportunity to think something could go wrong. I watched a video the other day online, and it was a social experiment. A guy sitting in the middle of the road, and people just walking past. Middle of the road with a microphone in hand, talking to the camera. Everyone just walked past. It didn't matter. The difference is sometimes what it takes you from when you think about that to actually executing it, you have to fight that shame. That's, oh, someone is going to see me doing this, or I'm going to, it's like even starting a business, starting from scratch, opening a social media account and starting a new page. Oh, someone is going to laugh at me, starting from the scratch. Oh, I'm doing this. But yes, if that is what you really want to do, I don't see how what someone thinks really matters. I think we need to fight shame as a concept. A lot of the younger generation are already doing that. Maybe in extreme ways on their streaming and lives and all that. Yes, that's extreme. But even for the older generation or people that are not Gen Zs, as they say, there's a need to think of something and try it out first before assuming it doesn't work. I can think of so many instances that even myself as a very bold person, when I want to do something, I get it done. I try as much as possible to overlook all the reasons why it can't be done and try my best. But there's situations where I find myself where I'm like, how do I get this done? So I get so caught up in all the details and how I might be perceived and not do it. But at the end of the day, I get it done and nothing changes. Nothing changes. Sometimes what it takes to be a problem solver is to notice the problem and try out one solution. It might not be the final solution, it might not be the reason why everything changes, but you have found one reason or a way that it can change or it can be done. And if it doesn't work, you found a way that it can't be done. On to the next one, on to the next way to try. The concept of shame should be further neutralized. I saw something about an influencer saying when he started influencing for the first time, he was making a lot of money and then he gave his life to Christ and then became more involved with the church and preaching the gospel, and that started to reflect in his content. He noticed his following drop. He noticed attention on his reels and posts drop. He started to feel some form of shame. Thoughts started to cross his mind about, why am I doing this? This is affecting my finances. But when he thought about it, that I cannot be ashamed of what I believe. I feel we are becoming so scripted as a generation that we forget that we are actual people. God put us on this earth to dominate, to experience things, to take charge. So how can you take charge if when you think about something for the first time, what comes to your mind next is shame? You have to be so free in your mind and express who you are. There's so much going on in the world with technology right now that very soon the human experience will be the real currency, because everything else is easy to get these days. You don't even need to travel sometimes. You can Photoshop yourself somewhere or use an AI prompt to create the perfect picture. So there's no need to do most things anymore. You can Photoshop a six packs on your body, but then you're somewhere in the basement doing nothing. Very soon, the real currency will be the real human experience. And the sooner we get interested in experiencing those things, the better it will be for us as a generation. And even before going out or expressing that thing that you have found to the world, I feel like the first enjoyment should be yourself. Whatever it is that you are doing, before sharing it with the world, it has to be a thought or something that you actually enjoy, not doing it because people might like it. No, you have to like it first, and you liking it first removes shame from it, because expressing yourself is so important. I was talking to a friend a few days ago, and he was talking about when he travels a lot, and when he travels, he has to ask someone to take him a picture. He has to be okay with whatever or however they take those pictures. I'm different. I have a certain way I like my pictures. When I want to take a picture, there's something I'm seeing. There's elements around that thing that I want to be seen in the picture. Uh, because I look at my pictures more than anyone else. I don't know if that's something weird. Doesn't really matter. When I go on a trip, when I go somewhere, I go back and I look at all the pictures I've taken and how those places were. So when I want a picture, I want those elements in it. And I noticed that if you meet just anybody that's on their way somewhere and they happen to take a picture, it's no issues with them as people, but they're on their way, they're busy with their days, and you call them out of that to take you a picture. You can't really expect the best out of them. I take really great pictures of people. I even offer to take pictures of people. Anywhere I see them struggling, I'm like, can I take you a picture? Because I know I'm going to take a really good picture. You're going to remember this guy took you a picture. You might not know my name, you might not know anything about me, but I took you a really great picture. So I started to do the tripod thing. Set up my tripod in the middle of a city center, put my phone on, put my GoPro on, make my videos, walk away from the camera, walk into the camera, and I the world is my stage. And I found how enjoyable this thing actually is. It's so enjoyable. Forgetting what anyone else is thinking, forgetting who is looking at me, forgetting what is happening around me, and just going ahead and taking my photos. Because I want photos, I want really good photos. And the angles I want to take, someone else taking my photos might not be able to take that many angles. I'm an artist in my mind. So what do? I go ahead and set my stage and I walk the runway because the world is my stage. Imagine being ashamed and getting home and then thinking, oh, I should have taken a picture there, but I was shy. Shy? I go to conferences and I strike a conversation, not because I feel like we might be best of friends after that. But what's the harm in striking a conversation, having some one-on-one conversation with somebody you don't know and exchanging ideas and maybe even connecting after that? There's so much we are losing as humans and as people that I feel we should connect more to meeting someone online, going for a coffee, not because anything might come out of it, but just because. Just because. Many years ago, before the advent of technology and all of this stuff, people used to write letters across the world. Whoever responds, people would just send random letters. But now we have the opportunity to see some of these people and connect with some of these people, but we don't connect. All we do is look. We're not having conversations. We are not trying to get to know people. We are not trying to put ourselves out there. Why? Because there's an illusion that we're already out there or that we know that other person. Why? Just because we see their posts. Just because we see their posts. Nothing else. We don't know their real names. It's at this or that. Usernames, that is what we connect with. We do not connect with the people behind those things. And we forget that the way we are living our lives in one reality, that's the way another person is living their life in another reality. And what draws you away from that opportunity to experience that person? Shame. Oh, they might not respond to me. They might turn me down. All these things that have been put in place by either prior experiences or the concept of just living. Give away whatever shame you have left. Be a respectable person. Be a respectful person. But take away shame. Take away everything that is stopping you from expressing the full extent of your brilliance. I believe there's brilliance in everyone. It's whether we choose to express it or not. So have a wonderful day and think about ways that you can fight that shame and do something that you originally or ordinarily wouldn't do and express yourself. Have a great life. That's what we're here for.